Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Deadpool Batman, issue number one of hopefully several more. Several more crossovers like this. This is very different from the Amalgam universe that I expected, although there is a new Amalgam character in here. I will say, this surprised me at how good it was. This is not a big versus battle, right? There's a couple of those in here, right? But this is very radically different from what I expected a Marvel and a DC to do with each other. It's always one versus the other, and that's not really the theme of this particular comic. It's a big comic, too. So I'm going to suggest you sit back and understand the purpose of this. It's like about 60 pages long, right? The purpose of this is to entertain with more than just some silly little, no, this person would win, no, this person would win, whatever. Doesn't do that. Very different from what I expected, and I'm not unhappy at all at what I've seen. Let's get talking about who made this book, and then we'll get into a few other things. But we can't just do the whole book. We've got to do a bunch of the breakdowns of who did what. And the main story here is indeed Deadpool Batman. So with that story, we've got The Dead of Night, Zeb Wells writing, and Greg Capullo on pencils. Inks by Tim Townsend and Alex Sinclair doing the colors. VC's Clayton Cowles on letters. This story, my peeps, holy moly. Also, Deadpool created by Rob Liefeld and Fabian N. And Batman created by Bob Kane. No, there was no Bob Kane. I don't even think Bob Kane really exists. I think he's a figment of our imagination. Bill Finger, that was a real person. Anyway, and of course, there's going to be a lot of variant covers for this. We start off with Batman in Wayne Manor, but he's just regular old Bruce Wayne, and he's thinking about what's going on. Certain chemicals have disappeared, and the whole time I'm thinking, really? So Deadpool is stealing all this stuff? I mean, I could see it, but that's a really weird thing. I thought they were going to make Deadpool the main bad guy in here. That's not the case at all. There are four main characters in here. Batman, Deadpool, obviously, also Commissioner Gordon, and I hope this isn't too much of a spoiler for people, the Joker. Now, if you guys have ever seen the Bat and the Sun live action, versus battles that used to always happen, and they said they're going to start doing them again, which I love. Absolutely love that they're going to be doing that. Excuse me. These were amazing. They were better than any stop motion that you could have possibly ever done. Better than any, cartoon versus battle anybody could have ever done. Better than the stuff I used to do and tried to do again, but nobody paid attention. I just recently did Judge Dredd versus the Punisher. I thought it was pretty good. I even put some animations in there. People, nobody was watching it. Maybe go watch it after this. The point is, this completely surpassed what I expected. Guys, Zeb Wells, for him to understand these characters the way that he does, and to give us a very realistic plot, I was completely beside myself. I also wonder how cool it was for Zeb to be able to work with Greg Capullo. Was this the first time he ever worked with him? I'm not sure. But wow, this was so good. So Deadpool shows up and there's a big battle, and there's not a battle between Batman and Deadpool at first, but when they do start fighting, it's pretty realistic. How the situation goes from there, where it goes from there, really, really creative from Zeb Wells. Which, what else do you expect? The guy's just given us so many incredible stories. This guy must have been thinking about this for a while. I don't know. But I will say, just having Zeb do more of these stories alone would be worth it for these two companies to work with each other again, right? The big two. Wow, this completely surpassed any expectation I could have ever had. I'm going to just say that. There's no way you don't enjoy this. Well, this is unrealistic. That's unrealistic. Yeah, of course. There's going to be a couple of moments like that in here. Just the idea that Batman would ever, at any point, trust Deadpool. But when you see the result of it, you're like, oh, I think he understood. Because That's just who Batman is. Anyway, after that, we've got a Captain America and Wonder Woman. Warning: there's no Wonder Woman and Captain America don't fight each other, which is a good thing. Captain America won't stand a chance. Look, Cap is my favorite character of all time. Love this character, right? But let's be realistic. He ain't beating no Wonder Woman. In fact, for the most part, aside from one panel in here, you start to think that maybe they were actually like, hooking up, which I wouldn't be upset about at all. I mean, my favorite romance that Wonder Woman ever had is not with Steve Trevor. I know, sacrilege to a bunch of people. It's actually her relationship with Batman. I loved those interactions. Why not with somebody who's actually more of a hero than Batman? Somebody who's more akin to herself, right? But there's also a scene here where it indicates that maybe they weren't together, that actually it was Wonder Woman and Batman with each other, and that Cap was actually with, somebody else. I think that was one of the female Robins. Um, anyway, however they're going to do it here, they don't necessarily touch on it, but this was like the respect these two had for each other. So good. I really did like it. So like I sat there looking at the story. I'm like patting myself on the chest for it. It's really quick. What do you call it? This was The Gun and the Sword, it's called. Chip Zdarsky is the writer. Terry Dodson on pencils and colors, and Rachel Dodson doing the inks. I like when Zdarsky's working with the Dodsons. VC's Joe Caramagna on letters. And Joe Simon Jack Kirby created Captain America. William Moulton Marston created Wonder Woman. Crap, I can't remember who originally drew the character. It wasn't William Moulton Marston. That's really messed up. I forgot that DC has a lot of problems with attributing, who wrote who or who created who. And the Wonder Woman thing is a problem also. Marston is not the sole creator. He didn't draw the character. Anyway, oh my God, this was like, I think there could have been more action, but there's a lot of blending of characters and bad guys in here, so it can get a little bit confusing. Just don't try and make sense of too much stuff with this story. Simply sit back and enjoy the story that's being told. It's so beautiful, man. Zdarsky's got such a way with words, with characters. I absolutely love it. Here's something something that just like lifted my heart when I was reading this. Catch by Kelly Thompson doing the writing, Gary Hero doing the art, color, and special effects. That's funny. And VC's Joe Caramagna on letters. Jeff and Krypto. There are very few words spoken in here, and obviously not by these two characters. Krypto based on the characters of Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. And I'm not sure why they're not explaining it. Jeff was created by Kelly Thompson, and I actually forget who the artist on that first one was. Was it Gary Hero? I don't know. Anyway, just the idea that you get Kelly doing this, just another really fun, cute story with Jeff, and she gets to do Krypto also. I'm really like it does my heart proud to see Kelly Thompson, just one of the best to ever do this, get this opportunity to do these two characters, right? To be able to do Jeff again and to be able to do Krypto also. If they made this a running series, I'm perfectly okay with it. So much fun. Here's something that if the story's kind of got a little bit, not action packed enough for you, no problem. Here's Kevin Smith doing the writing for Daredevil and Green Arrow, the red and the green, with artist Adam Kubert. Yeah, finish up, Cat. Frank Martin doing the colors, and VC's Joe Caramagna on letters. I think, Caramagna does the letters for all of these stories. Really fun story. It's funny. Green Arrow at one point says, we just gave the foot to the hand, right? Because they're fighting the hand in this. Very enjoyable. In fact, the hand actually looked more like the foot in this. That's why the moment that I saw the way they were doing the hand, that Adam was doing the hand, I'm like, oh no, that's not the hand, that's the foot. And then when Green Arrow goes and makes that comment, I was laughing out loud, publicly laughing on this. Public for the family at least. Anyway, really good story. Whole lot of action in here. The idea that these two just meet, Daredevil and Green Arrow, just meet for the first time, because I know a whole lot of people can be like, why not Daredevil with Batman? And I get it. Why not a lot of characters with Batman? Why not Moon Knight and Batman, right? No, Moon Knight's not in this book at all, which is a shame, but maybe one day, right? I thought this was a great pair up for the two. Daredevil teaming with Green Arrow was a whole lot better than I expected it to be. The scene at the end, how the day is saved. When you see the last panel, Kevin Smith still has it, man. He still has it. I this rewrite of how a certain kind of arrow got made. I'm gonna leave it there. Oh, this was so good. Rocket Raccoon and Green Lantern. And we're talking about the Hal Jordan Green Lantern here. I didn't expect it to be this good, but that's my own fault because Rocket Raccoon has a Green Lantern ring now was written by Al Ewing. Uh, Dyke Ruan is the artist on this with Moreno Dinicio on color art. This was such a fun story. It's mostly just Rocket Raccoon with a Green Arrow, or excuse me, with a Green Lantern ring. Like, what's his name? Hal Jordan gives him his ring. It's like, okay, we're gonna do this Peace Corps thing now. So here you go. And Nova is there, and I'm thinking, why not Nova in Green Lantern? I mean, Nova was based off of the idea of the Green Lantern, Nova Corps, Green Lantern Corps, right? Why not that one? No, I get it. I get why they did this. And while you're thinking that maybe Rocket is the only one who's going to get in trouble in this particular story, you got another thing coming. Al is one of the best to ever pick up the pen for a comic book. And this one just goes to show. Go figure, we've got a story named Showdown where Frank Miller, writing, penciling, and inks, and Alex and Claire doing the colors, doing Old Man Logan and Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. Wow, wow. This, look, it's drawn by Frank Miller, the creator of the Dark Knight Batman. Uh, this I don't know that this is going to disappoint anybody, but it's not the greatest story ever told. It's not obviously not the greatest art ever told, but it's one of those weird things. I'm not mad that it exists. I'll just say that. I'm not mad at its existence. The last story in here is and presenting Logo. Enter Logo. Logo is an amalgam character, but he's not one of the original amalgam verse characters, right? Wolverine had actually fought against Lobo in the original thing, but then when the amalgam thing came out, the combination where they combined the two characters, it was Wolverine and Batman, if I remember correctly. Um, and Logo was Logo even teamed up with anybody? I don't remember. Anyway, so this is Wolverine and Lobo put together. Just expect it's going to be exactly what you think. And if you have any doubts of what the story is going to be like, let me tell you who created it. Ryan North and Ryan Stegman. These two Ryans together with Frank Martin doing the colors, this had me. I was laughing my butt off during this. The combination of characters that they have in here and a certain copter appears in this. I don't think you're going to be disappointed in this at all. If I had one complaint to make, it's that in the Deadpool and Batman story, the main story in here, the Batmobile looks more like the Beetlemobile. There you go. That's the only complaint I have for this entire book. I loved this. I would love to see more of this. I hope that by them putting this out, I hope that they make a lot of money off of this. Guys, make that happen. Make it rain on these two companies. Give them a good reason to do more of these crossovers. I love they were able to make this so that there didn't really have to be any fighting between the two. Frank Miller's thing aside. Anyways, that's going to be it for me. Guys, you got to grab this book. If you're going to grab a book this week, come on. All right? This should be such a no-brainer. Anyway, I'll talk to all you guys later. Love, peace, hair grease. Like the video. Watch an ad. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.